would like to invite Professor Dhananjay Gadre, Member National Steering Committee, to share expectation from Idea Labs.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Neeraj Saxena, for this opportunity to be here and share experience with the participants. But talking about technology to people who are leading educational institutes would be like bringing candle to high power LED bulbs that you represent. I will still share some of the thoughts from the point of view of what is expected in an Idea Lab. Now, I'm sure many of you are seized with the problem that there is a shift in terms of admissions, and electronics and mechanical and civil, these branches are depleting in favor of computer science. Professor Prabhat Ranjan must be credited with this idea of creating multiple streams within the computer science branch, and I think that is one reason why a lot of outflux from other areas is happening, and it is actually a very dangerous uh, movement, because it is that is happening at the cost of other branches which are of equal importance. Now, if you see today, any product that you make has three important elements: electronics, the heart, and that heart cannot work unless you put programs into it, and the third is the mechanical structure. And this is precisely the motivating factors for the inventory that make up the Idea Lab. I was involved with the initial committee together with Professor Ashrif Shah and few more members, which put together the inventory. And this inventory is not frozen in space and time. It's a moving target, because you have to, you find something new coming up and you would like to have it in the Idea Lab. And the inventory essentially deals with computer hardware, programming, and mechanical fabrication. And I think Idea Lab is going to be one such place in the college where students, they would interact with students from other fields, and this interdisciplinary activity will create wonders. The problem is, how do you use the Idea Lab in enriching individual departments also? So I will speak from a point of view of an electronics viewpoint. I know in North India, certainly numbers are depleting. There even shutting down programs in electronics. I don't know whether the same is true in South India, because South India typically the enrollments are much higher, but certainly they are not unaffected. So the question is, how do we do certain things which will put life back into these programs? One of the things that we are what is staring in our face is the dependence of products from China. And if we go into a conflict situation, then it will even become even more serious. And the only way to counter it is to cultivate our own mechanisms of manufacturing, both at a mechanical level as well as electronics products. I'll give you example the kind of challenge we are facing. Few of my students for the last 10-15 years, they have chosen to go into to becoming entrepreneurs. This is challenge for a place like NSIT. The reason is that we have almost 200% placements, meaning almost everybody get 2 jobs by the end of their 8th semester. And so getting them interested into running their own company is a big challenge. Even so, there have been certain examples, and I've been interacting with those students. The kind of relentless, proactive chasing that Chinese companies and suppliers do, it is unthinkable. I'll give you a simple example. I was talking to this student of mine only 2-3 days ago. He is making a product in which a battery holder, that 9-volt battery snapper is required. But the problem is that he wants certain extended length of the wire. So he approached Indian suppliers. He says, I want 1 lakh pieces, not a small number. He says, sir, who will chase Chinese suppliers for 1 lakh? 1 lakh is nothing for them. But the moment you talk to actual Chinese suppliers and you talk to them like on WhatsApp, they have a parallel, communication program in China called WeChat. You talk to them once. He says that if you raise a query today, they will continue to check with you even for next 1 year. He said, what happened? You had queried about this. Do you want it? We can modify it for you. You make any small request that, oh, we want this particular device to be modified a little bit. They're willing to accept it. But here in India, we are unable to meet those requirements. And I feel this is because of the lack of hands-on experience that the students receive in a college. In a college, the only hands-on experience is through the laboratories, and the laboratories we know. I mean, I can speak from a electronics viewpoint. These are boxes where there are inputs to be connected, outputs to be connected to oscilloscope or power supply, and a set of readings. Even if you don't take it, you copy it from your senior's file, and your file is done. If with this kind of a experience, you don't expect them to be really very productive. No wonder even a person who joins electronics, from day one, he says, okay, I am going to learn coding. It is my misfortune that I did not get computer science, but I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to learn coding and I will end up into some software company. Whereas the way to rejuvenate electronics programs is to focus on electronics manufacturing. Government has been talking a lot about ESDM, electronic system design and manufacturing, but the seed has to be sown in a college. You should go back and find out, do you have 10 soldering irons in your college? 10 soldering stations in your college? Ideal Lab would have many more, but that is not where you are doing electronics manufacturing these days. On a air flight, I bought this. They say, okay, scratch a coupon and you get something. So I scratched a coupon. It said for 900 rupees, you will get a activity watch. I bought it out of curiosity. I opened it up because 900 rupees was worth something. I mean, not too expensive to just open it up. The kind of components that are going into modern electronic products, it is not possible to solder them with a soldering iron. And you have to go to the next level, but we are not exposing our students to that. The component sizes I saw in that activity watch, and I'm sure that was some small scale business in China. If you look at multinationals producing, say, Apple Watch and so on, maybe you would have one more magnitude smaller components. The component was of the size that in electronics we call 0402. 0402 represents the physical dimension of a resistor or a capacitor. The first two digits are in 100th of an inch, and the second two digits are also 100th of an inch. So 400th of an inch is the length of the resistor, 200th of an inch is the width of the resistor. You're talking of such a small, tiny component that has to be soldered on a piece of PCB. It is not possible to do it manually. And the only way you do it is through a pick and place machine and a soldering oven. Are we exposing our students to anything like this? If we are not, how do we expect India to be competitive at an international level? And I think Idea Lab provides that opportunity at a level where students can first experience it. And if the college management and AICT finds that this is useful thing to do, maybe this can be forged into the curriculum also.